Alright everybody, welcome back. It is time for another Death album review. Before I get to that though, we have some exciting stuff coming up with Ozzy Osbourne. He dropped his new album, Patient Number 9, so I will be reviewing that thing in the very near future, as well as doing an updated ranking of the Ozzy Osbourne albums to kind of see where that lies in there. And of course, as time goes on, because it's been quite some time since I've done all the Ozzy Osbourne albums and ranked them and reviewed all them. So this will be like an updated ranking. So, stuff kind of has shifted indeed on the rankings list. So it should be interesting. And it will be fun to see where exactly Patient Number 9 lies. So stay tuned for that stuff coming up. But as for right now, of course, we are making our way through this death stuff here. And we're talking about individual thought patterns. And I'll tell you something that makes this an immediate standout, this album, is that Andy LaRocque from King Diamond is also on guitars for this album, which is just a fantastic addition. I love King Diamond. I love Andy LaRocque's work. I think he's just an incredible guitar player. Has such a great tone, and you can really tell when it's him getting involved on here. As for the lineup, I think we have, maybe Terry Bozzio's still in the band. Of course, LaRocque's on. Let me pull this out really quick and we'll see what's going on here. Yes, we got, obviously, Chuck, guitar and vocals, Steve DiGiorgio on bass, Gene Hoglan on drums, and Andy LaRocque also on guitars. So I guess Terry Butler is out of the band at this point. But that's a pretty cool lineup here. It's with the addition of Andy LaRocque, super cool to have him on board for this thing. But with that being said, let's kick things off with the opening track, Overactive Imagination. Just a very, very brutal opening track, per usual from these guys. They like to blast off into just straight up death metal greatness, and Overactive Imagination is one of them. I love with Andy LaRocque up in here, you get really good taste of what he's going to bring to the table right off the bat with some of these solos and some of the riffs him and Chuck are kind of doing together on this thing. So Overactive Imagination has also got a really, really cool melody for it during the chorus that I'm a big fan of. Then we crack on over to track number 2 with Inhuman Form. This one has some really, really cool time changes going on here, man. I'm telling you, as we've gone along here, we've seen the technical progression of the band, starting from, they was Scream Bloody Gore, which wasn't quite as, progressive or technical as these later albums would be. It was more of a raw, straight to the point death metal album. So it's just super fascinating to see, especially looking like at this point in their discography, which is, kind of a later on album here. And all the way back then, it's just a pretty big difference with, the time changes in this and in Human Form they're freaking fantastic. And for some reason I always thought that, not for some reason, it's pretty obvious why, but in Human Form, I used to think that was off Human because, the album's titled Human and I figured that was on there, but, pleasantly surprised to find it's on here. Great freaking song, fantastic stuff. Then we get track number 3, one of my absolute favorites off here, Jealousy. And the bass on this thing, it's got to be a fretless bass that Steve DiGiorgio is using because, man, this thing it's got that kind of coil sound to it that, is off of, that kind of you hear on, things such as Blue Murder, with, Tony Franklin, that really coily, snaky kind of bass sound to it, which is just, I love that bass sound so much. So I'm pretty damn sure this is a fretless bass that's going on here when Jealousy has that bass up in front and an absolute fantastic chorus yet again, making this one of my freaking favorites. Then we get, obviously all these tracks are super heavy. It's death metal, it's death, but Trapped in the Corner is just one of the really, really heavy ones. This one just comes at you all guns blazing, man. I love Trapped in a Corner. Another fantastic track that I'm a big time fan of. You got another really cool, some really harsh and powerful vocals from Chuck in here. There's a lot of, just you can feel the power in this stuff, man. I'm telling you. And it's been the same for all these albums thus far, and it's no different here. The aggression, is just on point here from Chuck. And Trapped in a Corner might very well be the heaviest off of here, or at least one of them. Then we go with Nothing is Everything, another one that is one of my favorites. I love kind of the build up to this one, and the breakdown too. I mean, this one is just, oh man, beautiful, beautiful track, which is, a lot of people, they'd be weirded out. How are you calling a death metal song brutal or beautiful? Well, that's just, if you're into it, man, you're into it. And it's a beautiful track, beautifully heavy. And again, just the technicality here, which you get two minds like LaRock and Schuldner together that are just both incredible guitarists. I mean, you get stuff like this with some, bouncing off each other's solos and everything. And you just get a really fantastic track like this here, Nothing is Everything. This one is up here, this next one is another one that's just top tier stuff. One of my favorite death songs ever, Mentally Blind. My God, the darkness of this track here, and just this one is just incredible. It's got fantastic just songwriting all over it. I love the chorus where there's like this almost bell sound, and then that, just kind of creepy sound like na 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 na, and then Chuck in the Mentally Blind. Just fantastic stuff. One of my favorites off here. One of my favorite death tracks of all time. And you get another killer solo from these guys bouncing off each other. And again, it's in that tone. Andy LaRock's got that really distinct tone, so you know which one's him for sure. Then we got another really, really brutal one here with the title track, Individual Thought Patterns. Another one of the heaviest off here, and I love it. I love kind of, some of the ways Chuck kind of, the way the lyrics are sung and kind of the way the words flow together it's so unique, like just the individual thought patterns. I mean, there's just some of the ways this stuff goes down, man. I'm telling you, it blows your mind sometimes how, the way you would think something would be sung, he just kind of shifts it, on its head, man. I mean, and that's another prevalent thing on this one here. You would maybe think, how is someone going to sing something kind of as weird as like individual thought patterns and make it a hooky chorus? Well, Chuck sure as hell did it and made it one of the best tracks off here. Then we go with Destiny. Just another brutal one where Chuck is belting out from the freaking bottom of his lungs. Destiny. I mean, God. Another fantastic track here. It's been just freaking killer track after killer track on here, and it just keeps on rolling into track number 9, Out of Touch. Man, I forgot how much I love this one. This one used to kind of be maybe one of my least favorites off the album. Not anymore, man. It jumped up here. I forgot how damn good of a track it was. Fantastic stuff yet again here. Number 10. This is many people this is the final track in the album here, and the Philosopher. Many people know this is just an epic sounding death track with some of the just there's one of the most powerful choruses in anything. I mean, the way the riff builds up into that, the Philosopher, and then, oh man, you just hear, it's like making a statement, nothing, what is it? Shit. Drawing a blank here. You know nothing about nothing at all, or whatever the hell it is. It just freaking fantastic lyrics in there that I'm drawing a blank on, of course, but one of my favorite death songs ever. I mean, this one has been played by me a ton, like if I'm ever just like going through songs on the road or whatever and listening to, just maybe not a full album, but flipping through, some death metal stuff. Oh, I remember what the lyrics are now, of course, it comes back to me. The Philosopher, so much about nothing at all. Duh. I just lost it there for a second, but one of my favorite death songs ever, one of my favorite death metal songs ever. It is like a freaking anthem right there, man. I mean, I could just imagine, seeing these guys and headbanging to this thing in the crowd, seeing them live. So, one of the best damn songs they've ever wrote, for sure. And, of course, we got a fantastic album out of this right here. Andy LaRock getting thrown in here. Of course, the lineup would shake up all again. But if I had to pick maybe a least favorite off here, I would maybe say it's definitely really freaking hard. Damn. Maybe it would be Out of Touch. Even though I really learned to, forgot how awesome that song was. That's just, that's a testament to how great this album is. Because looking at these, I'm like, man, I don't think I can put any of those as my least favorite off here. But I love Out of Touch. Like I just said, it was like a rediscovery of that track. But I would maybe say either that one or maybe Destiny. One of those two. But I do love those like a lot. But, my favorites are for sure Jealousy, Mentally Blind, The Philosopher, Individual Thought Patterns, in Human Form. I mean, this shit's great, man. All throughout. One of the best death metal albums out there. And I've kind of said that about all of these albums thus far. And that just shows you how great of a band Death is. And, next time we get to see the evolution continue when we take a look at Symbolic, their second last album. We're getting there. We've powered through them. It's been a freaking blast listening to all these in a row and stuff, and really hearing the evolution of them. So next time they take things to another level of progginess and everything. So stay tuned for that, guys. Symbolic will be up next for the Death album reviews, and then of course the Sound of Perseverance would be after that, and then the big ranking thing. For these guys. But also, like I said in the beginning, the album review for Patient Number 9, it might even come before the Symbolic album review. It probably will. Probably the next review I do is Patient Number 9. Then we'll do an updated ranking of the Ozzy Osbourne albums, including Patient Number 9. And again, it's not just going to be my same ranking as last time, because things have shaken up. It's been a while. This stuff has always kind of changed. You typically have maybe your bottom ones and top ones, kind of remaining the same, but stuff gets shifted around in the middle. And so some of that's gone on for sure. And of course, the addition of Patient Number 9 in there has also shook some things up. So stay tuned for that stuff coming up, guys. Got a lot of fun stuff coming up. And anyways, yeah, let's talk about this thing down there. Let's talk about Andy LaRocque and maybe some of his cool stuff he's done in King Diamond as well down there. Like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks, guys.